What happened to Lyall and Eric Menendez? True story behind Netflix's Monsters. Joseph Lyall Menendez, born January 10, 1968, and Eric Menendez, born November 27, 1970, collectively referred to as the Menendez brothers, are American brothers and convicted murderers who killed their parents, Jose and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, at their Beverly Hills home in 1989. On 20th of August, 1989, Eric and Lyall Menendez shot and killed their parents Mary Louise, better known as Kitty, and Jose Menendez at their Beverly Hills home. During their trial, the brothers cited years of alleged abuse as the reason for the murders. They claimed that they had killed their parents out of fear that their father would kill them if they were to expose his behavior towards them. Now, Monsters, the Lyall and Eric Menendez story on Netflix, the latest installment of Ryan Murphy's Monster Anthology series, is tackling the true crime case that shocked America, focusing on the events leading up the murders as well as the aftermath. Much like Dahmer, the first season of Murphy's anthology series, Monsters, the Lyall and Eric Menendez story has proved to be controversial amongst viewers for a number of reasons. So, what's fact versus fiction? Read on for the true story behind the Lyall and Eric Menendez story, including how the brothers were caught, what happened at their trials and where they are now. Yes! The new Netflix series is based on the real-life case of Lyall and Eric Menendez, two brothers who were convicted in 1996 of the murders of their parents Jose and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez. Across 9 episodes, Netflix's Monsters, the Lyall and Eric Menendez story chronicles the case, and as per the synopsis, while the prosecution argued they were seeking to inherit their family fortune, the brothers claimed, and remain adamant to this day, as they serve life sentences without the possibility of parole, that their actions stemmed out of fear from a lifetime of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse at the hands of their parents. Lyall Menendez was 21 and his brother Eric was 18 years old. They proceeded to shoot and kill their parents. In total, Kitty was shot 10 times while her husband Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot to the back of his head. Following the murders, Lyall reported to authorities that he and Eric found their parents dead, claiming unknown intruders were responsible. Police initially investigated the case as a mob-related killing but soon grew suspicious due to the brothers' lavish spending of their multi-million-dollar inheritance. Eric later confessed to the murders to his psychotherapist, which eventually led to their arrests. Lyall and Eric were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances for lying in wait, making them eligible for the death penalty. During their first trial, the defense argued that the brothers killed their parents in self-defense after years of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse, while the prosecution argued that they were motivated by either hatred or a desire to inherit their father's multi-million-dollar estate. Why did the Menendez brothers kill their parents? Jose Enrique Menendez was born on May 6, 1944, in Havana, Cuba. At age 16, at the beginning of the Cuban Revolution, he moved to the United States. Jose attended Southern Illinois University, where he met Mary Louise Kitty Anderson, 1941 to 1989. They were married in 1963 and moved to New York City where Jose earned an accounting degree from Queens College. The couple's first son, Joseph Lyall, who goes by his middle name, was born on January 10, 1968, in New York. Kitty quit her teaching job after Lyall was born, and the family moved to New Jersey, where Eric was born on November 27, 1970, in Gloucester Township. The family lived in Hopewell Township and both brothers attended Princeton Day School. Jose became an executive at Hertz Corporation and later RCA Records. After he was appointed as the CEO of Live Entertainment, the family moved to Calabasas, California, where Eric attended Calabasas High School. In 1988, Lyall and Eric were involved in multiple burglaries in their neighborhood, prompting Jose to move to Beverly Hills. The following year, Eric attended Beverly Hills High School where he earned average grades but displayed a remarkable talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the U.S. as a junior. About 2 weeks before the murders, Eric and his friend Michael Joyce entered the 1989 Boys Junior National Tennis Championship. Eric reached the second round of qualifying in the boys' 18 singles, while Joyce reached the quarterfinals. Lyle attended Princeton University, where he was placed on academic probation for poor grades and eventually suspended for plagiarism. The prosecution's narrative is that Lyall and Eric murdered their parents for money, but the brothers, having admitted to killing them, alleged that it was due to ongoing physical, emotional and sexual abuse from their parents. Charles Wadlington, Lyall and Eric's childhood tennis coach of 5 years, alleged that Jose forced them to practice in the rain, cold weather, on holidays and even when they were sick. "He was just a scary guy," Wadlington testified. "You could tell he had some kind of hold over them." The main focus of the defense and the brothers' stated motive was the sexual abuse. Lyall testified that Jose began molesting him and showing him violent pornography when he was about 6 years old. Lyall also recalled that when he first told his mother, Kitty, about the abuse, she staunchly denied it. "I told my mom to tell Dad to leave me alone, that he keeps touching me," Lyall said during the trial, according to the New York Times. "She told me to stop it, that I was exaggerating and my dad had to punish me when I did things wrong." Lyall also alleged that Kitty's mental health had been deteriorating and that she later participated in the abuse, making him watch her undress and putting his face in his sheets when he wet the bed. The brothers claimed that when Lyall was about 8 years old, Jose stopped sexually abusing him and began sexually abusing 6-year-old Eric. "I was my father's prized son," Lyall told People in 2017. "At the same time I had been very brutalized by him and keeping his secret was a part of who I was. What I regret is not having our family somehow get this secret out earlier and maybe it could have been resolved without this tragedy and destruction." Eric told People in 2005 that his childhood was far from the wealthy and spoiled life that the prosecution suggested he and Lyall had. "Oh, people say that I had everything, that I was rich and lived in Beverly Hills," he explained. "But if you had photos of the events of my childhood, they would be crime photos. I was dying long before the night I killed my parents." Murders and alibi. On August 18, 1989, Lyall and Eric went to several gun stores in Southern California to buy handguns. However, due to issues with Lyall's California driver's license and a 2-week waiting period mandated by gun laws, the brothers decided to purchase shotguns instead. They acquired Mossberg 12-gauge shotguns along with boxes of birdshot and buckshot ammunition in the Big 5 sporting goods store in San Diego, California, where Eric used a stolen driver's license from Lyall's friend, Donovan Goodrow. On the evening of August 20, 1989, Jose and Kitty were watching television in the den of their Beverly Hills mansion when Lyall and Eric entered the den, carrying loaded shotguns. Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot to the back of his head. Kitty was shot 10 times in total. Before the fatal shot to her cheek, she was on the ground, crawling away. Lyall ran to the car where Eric handed him ammunition to reload before firing the fatal shot to her face. Immediately after the killings, both brothers remained in the house for a few minutes, expecting the police to respond due to the noise of the gunshots. They later left to dispose of their clothes that were stained with blood, then discarded the shotguns somewhere along Mulholland Drive. In between these, they also went to a movie theater and attempted to purchase tickets for the film Batman to use as their alibi but abandoned the plan due to the timestamp on the ticket stub. They then headed to the Taste of LA festival at Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. After returning home and finding no police presence, Lyall called 911 to report that his parents had been killed by unknown perpetrators. When the police arrived, they did not seek gunshot residue tests from the brothers, which would have indicated whether they had recently discharged a firearm. Investigation and arrests. In the months after the killings, the brothers spent lavishly on luxury items, businesses, and travel. Lyall bought Chuck's Spring Street Cafe, a Buffalo Wing restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, as well as 3 Rolex watches and a Porsche Carrera sports car. Eric hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments overseas. The brothers eventually left the Beverly Hills mansion unoccupied, choosing to live in adjoining condominiums in nearby Marina del Rey. They also dined extravagantly and took overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. Collectively, they spent approximately $700,000 before their arrests. Family members later disputed a connection between their spending and the murder of their parents, claiming that there were no changes in their spending habits after the killings. At one point, they attended a New York Knicks basketball game which became immortalized when they appeared courtside in the background of a Mark Jackson trading card. As the investigation continued, police began to suspect the brothers due to the possible financial motive and their spending spree after the killings. Eric's high school friend, Craig Signorelli, reported to the police that Eric confessed to him. He also revealed that he and Eric had previously written a 66-page screenplay titled Friends, which depicted a son killing his wealthy parents for their inheritance. In an attempt to get a confession, police arranged for Signorelli to wear a wire during a lunch with Eric. When Signorelli asked Eric whether he had killed his parents, Eric denied it. He eventually confessed to his psychotherapist, Jerome Oziel, who then told his mistress, Giulia Smith. Oziel began recording his sessions with Lyall and Eric. After breaking up with Smith, she, in a fit of rage, informed the police about the brothers' involvement in the murders. Lyall was arrested on March 8, 1990, outside their Beverly Hills home, while Eric turned himself in 3 days later after returning to Los Angeles from Israel. Both were held without bail and jailed separately at the Los Angeles County Jail. Judge James Albrecht ruled that tapes of the conversations between Eric and Oziel were admissible evidence since Oziel claimed that Lyall threatened him and violated doctor-patient privilege. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of the tapes were admissible, with the exception of the tape on which Eric discussed the murders. After that decision, a Los Angeles County grand jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents. The special circumstances that the killings were committed for financial gain was deemed unsupported by evidence and was subsequently excluded from the charges. They were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances for lying in wait, which made them eligible for the death penalty. How were the brothers caught? It's safe to say that the real-life case of the Menendez brothers took the world by storm for a multitude of reasons, not least because of public intrigue over the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Jose and Kitty, as well as the brothers' actions after the murders. After the killings, the brothers remained in the house as they thought the police would be on their way due to the noise of gunshots. Once the police arrived, the brothers told them that they had been out all evening at the cinema watching Batman and then at the Taste of LA festival. They said that afterwards, they had returned home to find their parents murdered. Believing their version of events, the police did not seek gun residue tests from the brothers and began their investigation into the murders of Kitty and Jose. In the months after their deaths, the Menendez brothers started living lavishly and spent money at an alarming rate. They not only bought many luxury items but also traveled internationally, purchased restaurants and bought adjoining houses in Marina del Rey. It was reported that, collectively, the brothers spent a total of $700,000 before they were eventually arrested. Their lavish spending only put them under the line of suspicion to the police, who were trying to narrow down suspects who had the motive to murder Jose and Kitty. While they did suspect some mob involvement, their sights honed in on the brothers, who were proving to have a significant financial motivation for the killings. The police employed the help of Eric's friend, Craig Signorelli, who they asked to wear a wire and ask Eric outright if he murdered his parents. Eric denied it but later confessed to the crime to his psychologist, Jerome Oziel. But the real breakthrough in the investigation came after Oziel told his mistress Giulia Smith about Eric's confession. The pair were having an affair and Oziel broke things off with Smith, but in her own fit of anger, she reported what Oziel had told her about Eric to the police. The brothers were then arrested in 1990, 6 months after the murders of Jose and Kitty. Lyall was arrested on 8 March that year, and Eric, who had just returned from Israel, turned himself into the police 3 days after his brother's arrest. The trial became a U.S. sensation when it started up in 1993, being broadcast by Court TV Live every day. The brothers were tried for their crimes separately, but both admitted to killing their parents out of self-defense. What happened in the trials? The brothers stated that they had killed their parents in self-defense. They described having a fear for their lives after being subjected to years of abuse at the hands of their parents, but namely their father Jose, who they said had sexually abused them for years. During the trial, Lyall gave graphic testimony of his father's alleged abuse, and had stated that he had even confronted Jose about sexually assaulting Eric just days before the murder. The allegations about the sexual abuse were corroborated by two family members, the brothers' cousins Andy Cano and Diane Vandermolen. Cano testified that Eric had told him about the abuse when they were both children, while Molen said that she told Kitty about an instance of Jose's alleged sexual abuse to Lyall. Molen said that, at the time, Kitty told her the allegations were false. The prosecution argued that the brothers had killed their parents for financial gain, not in self-defense. The first trials ended in 1994 with two deadlocked juries, resulting in a mistrial. The second trial unfolded in 1995, but this time, the brothers were tried together and it wasn't as public, as Judge Stanley Weisberg ruled for no TV cameras to be present in the courtroom. Once again, the defense cited years of abuse, and similarly, the prosecution argued that the brothers had acted as vicious, spoiled brats. Weisberg limited testimony about the brothers' alleged abuse and didn't allow the jury to consider a verdict on manslaughter charges, only murder. Where are the brothers now? After their convictions, the brothers were separated and sent to different prisons. In 2018, the brothers were reunited after being allowed to serve their sentences at the same prison in San Diego. They were moved into the same housing unit, marking the first time the brothers had seen each other in almost 22 years. Over the years, the brothers have filed many appeals, but all have been denied. Just last year, the Menendez brothers filed an appeal for a new hearing based on newly acquired evidence. The evidential documents they submitted were reported to include testimony from another man, boy band member Roro Cello, who claimed to have also been raped by Jose Menendez at the age of 14 in a documentary. We have received the habeas petition in the Menendez matter and it's currently under review, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office told CNN in May 2023. As of now, the brothers counsel other inmates who have suffered sexual abuse and Eric leads various self-help groups in prison, according to journalist Robert Rand, who has covered the case since 1989 and revealed more to A&E True Crime. Are Lyall and Eric married? Yes, both brothers are married, Lyall to journalist turned attorney Rebecca Sneed and Eric to prison pen pal Chemi Sakaman, who he also has a daughter with. Does the Menendez brothers' family support them? Most of the Menendez brothers' family members believe that they were sexually abused and reportedly rallied around Lyall and Eric after the slayings. One close family member told People, "There are certain things in life people do not make up." Kitty's eldest sister, Joan Vandermolen, echoed the sentiment, telling People in 2017, "Our family tragedy should be a lesson to all on the destructive effects of child abuse and molestation, whether they are wealthy or not." Lyall and Eric's cousin Diane Vandermolen told ABC News that, in 1976, Lyall confided in her that Jose sexually abused him. She also recalled telling Kitty, who reportedly said that Lyall was lying and separated him from Diane, and that was the last Diane heard about it. Kitty's brother, Milton Anderson, however, said the abuse allegations were bull.
Here we are. Of course we saw a short preview. You can see them whole in the YouTube channel of the voice actress and creator Giulia Segreti. She is a voice actress and actress. With her voice it brings strong emotions. She is Italian. In her videos you can also activate all the subtitles. Just go to the YouTube video options and then choose the language. We talked to Giulia. She uses her own voice in an innovative and particular way.
Vero, non hai avuto un buon esempio, ma ho imparato a mie spese che dagli errori si impara e si diventa persone migliori.
And she is popular on the web. She opens her self-titled YouTube channel and starts uploading audio readings of modern books in collaboration with male voice baron Mark Keel. She also does commissioned audio readings from many female writers. Giulia and Barone are also a couple in real life. They met on the web.
Senza di lui la maggior parte del lavoro non era possibile. Beh, ci siamo conosciuti attraverso la grande passione per il doppiaggio e per le letture.
Giulia was looking for a male voice for her projects and then she learned that she was a neighbor. You have dubbed some important films and participated in various famous Italian TV programs. Giulia is also a Spotify artist. She realizes with her voice covers of her recited. She's a writer. She has acted in the theater in various shows and fairs. For some years she was also the speaker on the radio, and currently she is the voice of important radio commercials. Her voice is also on Audible. In fact, she also makes audiobooks. In short, she does many things in one day. She likes to tease with her voice and has managed to work with her voice. She loves animals, she loves being with her boyfriend. It's hard to sum up her life. I suggest you visit her YouTube channel. There you can hear and see her work, while her private life and her other passions can be seen on Instagram.
Io, insieme a voi, ho una lunga strada da percorrere. E mentre percorriamo insieme questa strada, altre persone si uniranno.